The state of New Jersey is ordered to pay over $500,000 in attorney fees and court costs because they lost a firearms related lawsuit. That's what we're going to talk about today, folks. Let's get into it. I've done previous videos on a LEOSA win for retired law enforcement in New Jersey. This is recently. And LEOSA, for those of you who don't know, stands for Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act. It's the old HR 218. Just to give a brief background on LEOSA, LEOSA was created back in almost 20 years ago, 2004. Then President Bush signed it. It's an act of Congress which allows certain qualified active duty and retired law enforcement to carry in all 50 states without the worry of permitting or restrictions. So the whole idea behind LEOSA was not just to give law enforcement a perk. The whole idea behind LEOSA was after 9/11, and the idea was that it would provide trained, experienced law enforcement officers who are experienced in violent confrontations, usually a day-to-day in their jobs, give them the ability to carry while, whether it be off duty, on vacation, while traveling to see family in other states. So to have extra armed, qualified people out there in the event of an active shooter or some act of terrorism. In addition to that, LEOSA was also created because there were definitely known cases. I know of at least one in New Jersey. Retired chief was killed. So the other reason for LEOSA was to protect law enforcement officers when they retire against retaliation from those that they've arrested during their law enforcement careers. So LEOSA has been the law of the land in all 50 states. However, New Jersey, as New Jersey is, has always been different. New Jersey created their own retired police officer permit to carry program years ago, before LEOSA. So New Jersey said to its resident retired law enforcement, no, you cannot carry under LEOSA. We'll recognize LEOSA if you visit New Jersey and you're qualified and you travel to New Jersey. We'll recognize it and honor it for you, a visitor. But if you live here in New Jersey, you have to get our permit to carry, which is, there's a fee involved, there's a background check. We want to make sure that you're qualified. We don't take your word for it, that you've been vetted every day of your career for 20 or 30 years. We want to make sure you're qualified to carry in retirement. So you got to get our permit. So it prompted a lawsuit by the FLEOA, Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, which is an organization that represents many federal law enforcement officers, the New Jersey Fraternal Order of Police, New Jersey FOP, and I think 2 or 3 other plaintiffs. So they filed this lawsuit against the state of New Jersey saying we shouldn't have to get the RPO if we are qualified under LEOSA and we live in New Jersey. New Jersey lost. Right? So Judge Karashi back in 2022 said, yes, LEOSA is the law of the land. No, New Jersey, you cannot force individuals to get the RPO if they don't want or need the RPO. Now, the RPO does have its advantages. I've spoken about this before. So it's a carry permit for retired law enforcement officers. So if they have to work and they need to carry openly or concealed, there are very few restrictions with the RPO. So it's a good permit to carry if you're going to work in retirement or do something where you're going to need a gun to work. But for many retired law enforcement officers, they just want to carry for protection, to protect themselves and their families, and they don't need the RPO. So this was a win back in 2022. Judge Karashi, U.S. District Court for New Jersey, said LEOSA is the law of the land. New Jersey, you cannot force them to get it. And I know for New Jersey, it's probably mostly about money. They want the fees. They want those fees. So, of course, the state of New Jersey appealed the decision. And February 14th of this year, 2024, the ruling was affirmed, meaning New Jersey lost the appeal. So because New Jersey lost the appeal, they have to pay attorney fees and court costs, which amounts to some $550,000. So my point with this video is that not only have they been ordered to pay attorney fees and court costs because they lost, but who knows how much the state of New Jersey has spent on fees for attorneys in the Attorney General's office and all the people working to fight this lawsuit that should have never been brought. but the state of New Jersey forced the hand of retired law enforcement who want to live in New Jersey, who do live in New Jersey, and want to carry under LEOSA. My whole point is to let you know that I understand what you're going through, because if they're going to treat retired law enforcement, and think about this, law enforcement who have spent 20, 25, 30 years in law enforcement, getting vetted pretty much every day of their careers, having to qualify, having to get additional training, having to deal with violent encounters for years and years and years, and then they retire only to be said by the state of New Jersey, no, we don't think you're good enough. You have to apply for our permit, and we're going to do a background on you, and we're going to check and make sure that you are qualified to carry under LEOSA. If they're going to treat retired law enforcement like this, imagine how they're going to treat everyday citizens who have never been in law enforcement. So I do understand what you're going through. I'm in this group of LEOSA people, but I just wanted to let everybody know that I do think things are turning for the everyday citizen who just wants to exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms in public and protect themselves and their families. Since the Bruen decision, NYSERPA versus Bruen, that U.S. Supreme Court case out in New York, I do believe that things are overall getting better. Keep that in mind. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, folks. But I had to point this out because I saw this order come across. I monitor certain cases, and I saw this order that the state of New Jersey has to pay over $500,000, and that's just to the plaintiff's side, the fees for the plaintiff's attorneys and for the court costs. So it's over $500,000, but that doesn't account for all the money that the state of New Jersey people spent fighting this lawsuit from the beginning. We've seen this again and again, folks. The anti-gun politicians, they have an agenda. They push, they make these laws, they sign, the governor signs these laws in place that he can't do anything about the U.S. Supreme Court decision. So he says, well, I'm going to just make New Jersey the entire state a gun-free zone, and people can't even carry anywhere. And then he forces lawsuits, he forces the state to use resources, taxpayer dollars, to fight these unconstitutional laws. And in the end, most, if not all of them, are shot down. So try to stay positive, folks. I do think little by little we're winning these cases. There are some setbacks along the way, but little by little, since NYSERPA versus Bruen, I do think that it's overall positive. So if you haven't subscribed already to our channel, please consider doing so. We try to keep everybody up to date with these cases, significant cases. There are a lot of them in the courts today throughout the country, but try to keep everybody posted with the significant ones, especially the ones that affect New Jersey residents. And if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we release new videos. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe.